It's time to drive a bucket list car on the channel. But before we do that, this video was brought to you with Squarespace. If you're thinking about setting up a website, be it a business or a passion project, Squarespace is the one-stop shop and the place to go. Now, loads of you over the years have been working with Squarespace for a long, long time. You've set up websites, you've got businesses, and it's fantastic. And I love seeing what you guys and girls have created and what you're doing with it. So if it does tickle your fancy, make sure you use the link below. If you're setting up a website, you just save the link now if you're not ready yet, and you'll save 10% when you are ready to get going using that special link below with the code TGETV. Now, they've got loads of features on Squarespace. You don't need to be an expert in order to set up a beautiful website that works amazingly. Now, there is a new feature that you may not have heard of me talk about before. It's called Blueprint AI, which means that you can set your website up even more simply. Very clever, Blueprint AI. You've got to go and check it out, and it will basically garner what you want to create without you even really doing a huge amount. It's really, really clever. Make sure you go and check that out. It's all available on Squarespace's website. But you can also optimize SEO. There's in-depth analytics for those that are data-driven and want to get into the nitty-gritty of it all. You can obviously mobile optimize your site super simply as well. There's loads of design templates as well, enabling you just to get going quickly and efficiently. Anyway, I'll leave the link below. Make sure you go and check it out. And on that note then, let's go and drive a 993 Turbo.
Hello and welcome back to TGTV, and more specifically, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It's been a bit of a hiatus. We are back, however, because today I'm with Porsche Cars GB, celebrating 50 years of the Turbo. It's been 50 years since the 911 Turbo was first released, and they put on an extravaganza here just outside Goodwood. We are at West Dean College of Art. It's kind of a fancy sort of Hogwarts type art scenario here. There's all sorts of art inside. We've got Salvador Dali's Lobster Telephone, loads of obscure stuff, but we are celebrating an icon of art, which is the Porsche 911 Turbo. I have brought my 911 Turbo with me, and I'm about to drive something very, very exciting. Firstly though, my 911 Turbo is here, my 997 Turbo. I've given it a run out. The last proper drive this thing had was at actually Le Mans Classic, but it's here outside Camp Turbo. This is Porsche's setup, home from home, away from the Festival of Speed. We've got Camp Turbo down there with some of their classics and icons down that they've brought all the way over from Stuttgart from their museum, but I thought it would be fitting to bring my 997. So I'm going to show you the interior because I'm just so happy with it. I just think it's brilliant. On the wrist, we've got Cartier Paris Watch Club Edition, Platinum, one of 5 watches ever made. Picked that up recently on a new red strap. Not of any relevance. It is a mess in here, but what we're looking at is not, not the detritus there. I promise I don't live in my car. I might have to soon. We've got the manual gearbox. We've got dark brown espresso upper dash. We've got tan main seating. Look at it, lovely. Brown on brown, ladies and gentlemen. I can't think why this car sat unsold for so many months. I love it. I think brown is now cool. Brown is back. And we've got the iconic turbo script on the back. The lady here, I've forgotten her name, that is absolutely horrendous of me, but the lady that actually did this script is here. I've met her, so that's going to be added to my CV very shortly. But this, believe it or not, was actually done by hand. This was in the days, well, obviously 50 years ago, before AI and all that nonsense was just churn things out for fun. So this was actually done by hand, and the very same lady that did this by hand 50 years ago, she's here. What an icon, and that badge has transcended their entire model range for the past 50 years. So you get it on Cayennes, you get them on Panameras, you get it on the Taycan. That turbo badge has remained the same, and I absolutely adore it. I think it's fantastic. That is not a turbo, but we have a selection of turbo models down there anyway. So my 997 is here. For those asking, and actually we're gonna get back in it because one thing that Porsche is amazing at is looking after their old models. That infotainment system there is actually the upgraded Porsche PCCM Plus. That's about 1,500 quid, but it just fits in. It looks like it came on the car new, but actually you've got CarPlay, Waze, the whole lot on there, and it fits seamlessly in. If you're gonna do any upgrade to your 996 or 997.1, that is worth every penny. It's fantastic, absolutely brilliant. Top marks to them. Anyway, this is the lady here that's done the text. I'm not going to shove the camera in her face, but fantastic individual. Lovely, lovely lady. I'm not going to ruin her day by pointing the camera in her face. But there we go. Macadamia metallic, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go and find some turbos there. And in particular, a Cayenne E1 Turbo S, which is down here. Well, we would, but someone's nicked it. I think that's Callum Mullin has stolen it. He's off to go and see some sheep in it, I think. So we're running to and from here and the Festival of Speed with media shuttles. This is actually one of the first facelift Cayenne GTSs. And it's fresh over from Germany. That is a very good looking car. Could tempt me out of electric car daily use into one of those. That is a stonking daily. Absolutely phenomenal. Let's see if this is open. See if they've left it open. They have left it open. Wowzers. The size of that screen. Wild. Lovely. We're not going to go in that today, as nice as that is. Not even a turbo. Not even in a turbo, ladies and gents, but that is here. We do have a Taycan turbo. This is the facelift, so you can see it's a slightly tweaked front end, and it's got the Porsche active ride in it, which kind of tilts as you go into corners. It's very, very, very clever. I'm going to go out on that. I'm not sure that's a whole video, but I will take this out. I can't wait to give this a little go and give it some welly. 900 plus brake horsepower in this. That is mental, absolutely mental, and you'll see exactly the same turbo script on the back. I'm not quite sure what the turbo is alluding to there, because obviously it's electric. Good, that doesn't open, didn't want it to, but very cool. And I think in this Mission E spec, this is the spec to have. Slight tweaks to the design. That does look good, really good. Anyway, all the cars have been pinched since I've been waffling. We've got 996 Turbo S here, manual 996 Turbo S from Porsche Stuttgart's museum, and it is manual gearbox with the telephone in. Rich. That is absolutely rich with the telephone in there. Very, very cool. It's obviously been out. What I do want, I want one of these plinths, Porsche Museum plinths. Very, very cool. Mr. Callum Mullen, who is driving around on the lawn at the moment, that Cayenne, he's actually just bought a 996 turbo. Not an S, but manual turbo S's are rocking horse. They really are. We'll give you a quick nosy in here because there's some other bits and bobs here. This is Camp Turbo. Then we had dinner here last night. Lovely little bar. People chilling over there. This is where we've just been. This has been a very nice, relaxing place to just chill out. Away from the Festival of Speed, because the Festival of Speed does get it's quite a lot. It is quite a lot. But what we've got over here, this has come over from the museum as well. We've got 996 turbo split in half, so we can see all the gubbins, structure, suspension. And look at this. This is what actually shocked me. Look at all the wires bunched into there. Absurd. I mean, how on earth you know what any of those are? It's ridiculous. And we've got that turbocharged water-cooled engine in the back, actually with some form of Le Mans derived nonsense going on there. This is GT1 car era derived turbocharged Porsche heyday goodness. These are brilliant. 996 turbo is absolutely brilliant, and arguably my 997 turbo is almost just a facelift of the 996. I think they're aging very, very well. Love that. I believe we've got a 944 turbo cab there. Very, very nice. And we've got this here, which we're not actually allowed to take out for good reason, because that would be wrapped around a tree within seconds. We've got this here as well. Unreal. Look at those arches and look at those little wheels. It does start up. I have looked for the keys, but they've hidden them from me. Rightly so, because it would go very badly wrong. Look at it here. Absurd. Absolutely absurd. Very cool. No headrest. Good. Don't need one. Yes, so I was hoping this would come back. I think we've got Tom Kaler in here. Is it Tom Kaler? Who have we got in here? We've got some gentlemen. They look like Tom Kaler from a distance, but that's because I've got bad eyesight. 993 Turbo is back. I might just take this out instead, ladies and gents. Maybe I'll take this out. Change of plan then. Not a bad change of plan, because it is time to go in the 993 Turbo. Mr. Tony Hatter was here last night as well at the Turbo exhibition here, having a chinwag with everyone. The chap that actually designed this car. So I feel immensely, immensely lucky that I'm able to take one of these out. And a 993 is very definitely on the list. Being the turbo though, this is not just a standard 993. It basically was completely reshelled front and back. You've got the wider arches. We've obviously got the whale tail, which featured on obviously the 964 and the 930 that preceded it. The whale tail was carried over onto this, but a slightly smoother design to incorporate into the 993 aesthetic. And I think in terms of iconic Porsches, the 993 is up there. I was very close to buying a 993S very recently off a good friend of mine. He was selling it in a hurry and I missed out on it, a black car, and I couldn't get the money quick enough together. A 993 is on the list. I'm gonna get a 993, not yet. So this is gonna be a very interesting test drive. I think I'll go for an S, not a turbo. This is obviously left-hand drive, manual, they're all manual. This is glory years, only 23,000 miles on this Porsche. This is an icon in the Porsche Museum. Everyone knows this particular car, and I can't believe after years of seeing it in magazines, online and whatnot, I'm actually getting to drive this car. So as usual, I'm wearing the worst driving shoes imaginable. Pedals are very close together. Yeah, it remains to be seen how this is going to go, because I can basically touch all three pedals with one clod. Perfect. Anyway, clutch in, key in there. Let's fire her up. Here we go. Whee! Right, this is fanboy moment, so sorry about this, but this video makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I'm basically just indulging myself at this point and doing something I've always wanted to do. Hopefully you enjoy the content, but purely in a selfish fashion, this is kind of for me, this. Also, a little bit of stress. I don't want to shunt this thing, quite obviously. I like the brand first and foremost. They've been incredibly kind, inviting me down for this incredible Camp Turbo experience, so I ideally don't want to shove it through a wall. It's obviously a tiny bit daunting. It's over 400 brake horsepower and something the size of, well, one of my shoes, as you've just seen. You have got all-wheel drive, but you've got brakes, steering and whatnot from many moons ago. Don't want to stall it at the T-junction. The gearbox feels like a brand new car. 6-speed, normal transmission. First is where you'd expect it to be. None of this dogleg nonsense. Brakes are good, actually. I was expecting them not really to work that well. They are very good. Immediately, confidence inspiring. It feels very well placed on the road. It doesn't feel massive. It's a little car. The footprint's excellent, and for roads like this, it's absolutely perfect. Out of my mirror there, I can see lots of what's going on. I can see a lot of arch there, and I can see a little bit of that whale tail at the back there, a tiny bit of it out of the rear view, but I can see what's going on. I don't feel like I've got no idea what's going on, which can be said for a lot of the newer cars. They've all got massive. And this is obviously the predecessor to the 996. The 996 did swell up quite a lot. Seating position is absolutely fantastic. I mean, 911s have never suffered from that as far as I'm concerned. And actually a common complaint with turbo models particularly, and I'd say my 997 is guilty of this, it doesn't sound anything special. This actually does sound pretty bloody good. You've got that flat 6 and you've got lots of turbo whoosh going on, visceral mechanical nonsense going on behind you. Right, let's go down to second then. Come off the beans a little bit. Now we're kind of going into a higher speed limit zone. Oh my god! Okay. Okay. That's still modern car fast. And actually the power delivery is not as on and off as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be, you know, nothing, everything. But actually that was pretty linear. I enjoyed that. I did very much enjoy that. These roads around Goodwood, total chaos. We've got a Bentley that's just pulled out on me. Fantastic. Ooh. Hello. Maybe other 999ers. So pulling off in third basically. All the way up to, I don't know if you're picking that up. Revving up to 6,500 revs before you hit red line. I want one of these a lot. I mean, I think up to fifth. I think they're north of about 200 grand now. I mean, it's a lot of money. It is a lot of money, and 200 grand buys you a lot of car elsewhere. But can it buy you something as cool as one of these? I don't know. As I said at the start, me taking this out was for me, really. Taking you guys along for the ride, but this is purely a selfish video. Spec-wise, not usually a fan of red cars, but guards red on one of these, you can't go wrong. Reminds me of the 959 comfort car that actually Joe McCarry had him recently. Suits the car well. If I were to add one of these to my garage then, what would go? I think the 997 would have to go. Do I need two 911 turbos in my collection? No, I know they're completely different, but I think the 997 turbo would go. Am I serious about having one of these? At my current level of financial flow, no. I'm not going to put 200 grand into one of these. Had I made proper money, this would absolutely form part of a core collection for me. 100% 993 turbo. It's up there, iconic Porsches wise, and I think these things will continue to grow in value. There's always going to be an audience for these. The people that grew up in their formative years are starting to come into the age where they're making proper money, and they're going to go after these. What a fantastic thing. Whoa, Ventolor SV, Christ alive. Into sixth, we're doing 60 miles an hour, revs have dropped, and I don't need to shout, you can cruise. Nice little waft actually. It is very, very comfortable, and what Porsche do so well is their cars don't feel old. There's no squeaks, there's no rattles, they're just so well made. I know that's a cliche, that's such a boring thing to say, but it really does strike me. If you got in any other car of this era, it would feel like it's been thrown together from a distance. You close your eyes, this could be a brand new car. It's absolutely mental, I just don't know how they do it. Good glue. Into the White Horse here, which is a local kind of, everyone knows the White Horse. If you get to Goodwood, turn around in here and go back the other way. There's actually another 993 here. There we go. What are the chances? Another 993 turbo. Good grief. The owner here, shall I wave at him? Nice. Giving the game away really. Porsche Museum on the side, I can't really flex. That's a scary junction, bit of a blind blend there. Having just seen an SV go past at about a million miles an hour. Oh, that's good. I don't know if you're getting that sound, it sounds so good. So good. Right, I'm getting back to Porsche now. I'm going to see if I can jump in that K, and if it's not, I might end the video, but sorry this is a little bit disorganised. I mean, I think you've come to expect that on this channel, but I couldn't not take you along for the ride. That then was that, handing the car back. Much to the relief of everyone here, it's in one piece. The KN has gone walkie, so we're not going to jump in the KN2. Well, we might do. I might be back, but for now, there may be another video. Not 100% sure. I'm going to head into the Festival of Speed and do whatnot over there. So for now then, from Camp Turbo, thank you very much for watching. You've just witnessed a bit of a bucket list moment for me. So sorry if none of that made sense. I've no idea what I said in the car there. Lots of silly noises, I'm sure, but thank you very much for watching. Before we go, actually, we've got a 930 Turbo here as well. This is a very well-known 930 Turbo in, I think it's dark olive metallic, potentially. Could have got that wrong, but that has just arrived back here as well. You've seen 930 Turbo. I actually drove a 930 Turbo recently with Historics. They've got a very nice one coming up for auction with special wishes program seats in it, so make sure you go and bid on that if you're after one. Very, very cool piece of kit. Going to stop waffling now. Got very excited. Thank you very much. Massive thanks to Porsche, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye.